Hey, Linda. What do you think you're doing disappearing as soon as you see my mother? Just because you and her don't get along doesn't mean you can start a fight with her. I mean, we are on vacation abroad, aren't we? At least try to get along while we're here, please.
Loreto, can you not guess why I disappeared as soon as I saw your mother with us?
Why is that? Tell me, because I really don't get it.
Because today is the first day of our honeymoon. I mean, isn't only the husband and wife supposed to go to the honeymoon? Why then is your mother with us in Guam when we're supposed to be having our honeymoon? Just the two of us. I mean, she was waiting for us at the airport here with a smile on her face. What were you even thinking, not telling me about this in the first place?
Mom asked me not to tell you because she wanted it to be a surprise. I mean, it's obvious that I brought her because I want to be kind to my parents, isn't it?
Huh? What do you mean you're being kind to your parents?
Besides, won't it be more fun if my mom comes with us to our honeymoon? We can help her out together. Only good things will come out of this.
Huh? What do you mean we can help her out together? I didn't come all the way out to Guam to entertain your mother or something. Besides, why did you just bring your mother? Couldn't we have brought my parents as well?
Huh? Why would you say that? I mean, my mom being here is going to make things awesome. But your parents are just going to spoil our fun on this honeymoon of ours, aren't they?
It's the same logic, right? We can be kind to my parents as well. Do you think that bringing along your mom but not my mom is fair?
I mean, it's going to be different for me if your mom comes instead of my mom, won't it? Come on, Linda, you're being a bit too selfish here, says my mom.
Oh, so you're going to call me bringing my parents selfish, but what you're doing yourself isn't?
Huh? What are you talking about, Linda? Of course it's not selfish. All I want is my mom to enjoy our honeymoon with us. But you seem to be opposed to that idea.
Jesus Christ, it's like I'm talking to an AI. By the way, where's your mother going to stay anyways? She couldn't have just come to Guam without hotel reservations, right? Where is she going to stay?
Oh yeah, she's going to stay with us in the same room.
What? Why did I expect you to say that?
I mean, she's going to be so lonely if she's only in a different room, right?
So this is why you wanted to do all the planning for our honeymoon yourself.
Of course. I want to go sightseeing with my mom as well, even if it is a resort hotel. I can't just let my mom wander around abroad.
Jesus, I give up. I don't care anymore.
Huh? What's your problem? You're making it seem like I did something wrong here. Are you really so selfish as to not want my mom to share in our fun?
Yeah, whatever. Fine. You go with your mom. I'll go sightseeing myself.
What? Linda? Are you mad about something? Never mind, I think you do need to cool your head down a bit. I'll be checking in the hotel room with my mom. Once you calm down, let's meet up again, shall we?
Linda! To think that you were the kind of mean wife that would tell her mother-in-law not to come with them on their honeymoon? Oh my God, I pity my son Loreto so much. He's better off being single than having a selfish and arrogant wife like you. Even if you were introduced to us by an acquaintance of my husband, we should have turned down the offer the moment we saw you. It seemed that Loreto liked you for some reason, so we had no choice but to accept the marriage, but I haven't accepted you as part of our family yet. As a penalty for being so rude, please don't come with us on our vacation. You're going to ruin our special time of just me and my son together. Ever since you two got married, you've been living with us in Loreto's house, and I've had to put up with a pest in our living space for 3 whole months. But now we're finally free of you, and we can enjoy ourselves. Apparently, my son Loreto is being kind enough to ask that you meet up with us later on. But if we just let you off with no punishment like that, I feel like we're going to have problems later on. It's going to make you even more arrogant, I think. This Guam vacation is not going to be your honeymoon anymore, but me and Loreto's family vacation. Don't show yourself to us no matter what.
Linda? Where did you go last night? I told you to meet us after you had calmed down, right? I don't think you're the kind of person that would sleep outside, but Mom says that she wants to go sightseeing already. So me and my mom are just going to head out. Just tell me when you feel like meeting up with us. All right? Hey, Linda. Your head's probably cooled down already, right? Forget about everything you said about me and my mother. So would you just meet up with us already? We're going to be returning to the hotel now. But please, could we just stay together starting from tonight? Oh, and make sure you apologize to my mom and make up with her. It's really important that you do because you seem to have really hurt her feelings.
Huh? What the hell are these texts you sent me?
Oh, hey, Linda. Me and my mom have already returned to the hotel. I don't know where exactly you are in Guam, but stop being so stubborn already and just come back. You're going to ruin our once-in-a-lifetime honeymoon. If apologizing to my mom sounds difficult, then I'll apologize with you. All right? So, are you going to come back?
Loreto, I'm not in Guam anymore. I've already returned to Japan.
What?
I got on a flight this morning and went home. Well, I felt that just going home from the airport was a bit boring, so I stopped by an onsen hotel and am enjoying these onsen by myself right now. I hadn't realized it until now, but ever since I moved in with you and your mom, who for some reason also lived in the new house that was meant for the two of us, I haven't had a single moment of peace and quiet. Oh, how I missed these moments.
What? Who said you could just go back to Japan? Just stop doing as you please, will you? We're supposed to be on our honeymoon.
I'm the one who's doing as I please? You're the one who brought your mom with us on our honeymoon without telling me anything. Not only that, but you wanted her to go sightseeing with us and even stay in the same room as us. That's not what a regular person would do, Loreto.
I already told you. I did all of that so my mom would be happy.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that that's not what you call a honeymoon. If you had at least asked me in advance, things might be different, but you knew that I would disagree, which is why you didn't tell me anything until we actually saw her at the airport in Guam. You thought that I wouldn't be able to refuse once you actually did it, didn't you?
To be honest with you, yes. That's why I didn't tell you that my mom would be coming with us. But don't you feel bad about leaving my mom behind while the two of us go on a honeymoon? I mean, she wants to go to Guam as well, you know.
Only the wife and the husband usually go to honeymoons. What do you mean, won't you feel bad leaving my mom behind? Your mom was never supposed to come with us in the first place. Besides, your father is still in Japan, right? Don't you feel bad for him as well?
What? My father? Well, not really. I don't think he would have come even if I had asked him to. Mom, on the other hand, begged me to let her come with us. She wanted to go to Guam so badly, Linda. And you're just going to tell her not to come?
Yes. It doesn't matter whether she wants to come with us or not, because it was our honeymoon, and only the two of us were supposed to go in the first place. Oh, and I thought that I should tell your father about what happened, so I did. He got mad when he found out that your mother came to our honeymoon.
Seriously? Why did you have to go and tell Dad about this?
He has the right to know, doesn't he? I mean, he's your parent, just like your mom is. Well, that's the situation, I guess. I'm not in Guam anymore. I went back to Japan. Enjoy your honeymoon with your mom, then.
Huh? It's not really a honeymoon if it's just me and my mother, though.
Seriously? You love your mother so much that you don't even realize I'm making fun of you?
What? I don't understand what's there to make fun of in the first place. You're the one who I should be making fun of for being so selfish as to not want my mom to share our honeymoon with us.
Yeah, say whatever you want. There's something I want to talk to you about once you and your mom return home. I'll let you two decide when you return. Bye, then.
What? So, does this mean that you're letting me enjoy the rest of my vacation with my mother, right? Yes! This is the first steps towards you and my mom getting along better. Thank you, Linda. I knew that you were a good person at heart. Hey, Linda, what are these divorce papers you left behind?
Oh, so you came home? This was the day our honeymoon was supposed to end, by the way. Looks like you took it literally when I said, enjoy your honeymoon with your mom.
But you told me yourself that I could enjoy the rest of my vacation with Mom. We had already bought the plane tickets, so I didn't really see a need to change them.
Jesus. I want to tape signs on all sides of your body saying, beware, I have a mother complex.
Huh? What's so bad about me loving my mother? It's not a mother complex. This is a completely healthy mother and son relationship.
I'm not saying that loving your mother is bad, but I don't think you should prioritize what your mother wants over what your wife, wants all the time.
Yeah, but my mom is now your mom as well now that we're married. What do you find so strange about the two of us, taking care of our parents as husband and wife?
I'm trying to tell you that your way of taking care of our parents is completely messed up. Anyways, the decision I made of divorcing you is not going to change. To be honest, it stings having to get divorced after only 3 months. Your mother, she kept telling me that I stole her son from her, and so would always throw away my food and treat me like trash, hitting me with brooms and stuff. One time she even tried to throw away my last remembrance of my grandmother behind my back. Luckily, I was able to get it back from the dumpster, though. She's been abusing me every day for the past 3 months, and I am at my limit, both mentally and physically. Getting divorced is way better than having to watch the two of you fucking act like you're dating. I've never told you directly until now, but it makes me want to vomit.
Huh?
Hey, Linda, what kind of lies did you tell my husband? Oh, so now it's you, mother-in-law. Did you enjoy your honeymoon with your son who you love so much? There are more important things we need to talk about right now. My husband said that he was divorcing me and left the house. Well, I guess it's only natural for him to do so. Why? I mean, I was introduced to your son by someone your husband considers as his mentor, and that's how we got married in the first place. When I told him about how you've been abusing me these past 3 months, don't you think that it's only natural that he got mad at you? What? What do you mean you were introduced to us by my husband's mentor? That's what I heard, at least. By disrespecting me, you disrespected your husband's mentor, which obviously made your husband mad. Not only did you abuse me at home regularly, but you even plotted something with your son, or whatever, and suddenly appeared at our honeymoon destination. To be honest, I think your husband has made a completely fair decision. But there's no way I could have let my son go off without me with some random woman. What's so wrong about wanting to be with your own son? First of all, I'm not some random woman. I'm his wife. Or at least, was his wife. And second of all, your problem is not that you just want to be with your son, but that you want to be with your son a little bit too much. And no, I didn't lie to your husband about anything. All I did was tell him about how you've been abusing me these past 3 months. I just gave him the facts and showed him some evidence as to what you were doing to me. It's your husband, not me, who came up with the idea of divorcing you. I'm not involved with this, so you should discuss it with him, not me. Linda, I order you to do something about this. Convince my husband not to divorce me or something. He'll probably listen to you. What makes you think you can give me orders? I'm going to block you now, all right?
I don't want to get divorced, Linda.
Huh?
I talked with Dad after we got home from Guam, and there's something I know now. The reason that I broke up with all my girlfriends who visited my parents' house in the past was because my mom was interfering. My dad saw this was happening, and so he talked to his mentor about it. His mentor was kind enough to introduce me to another woman. You.
Ah, so that's why your father apologized to me. He didn't notice how the two of you got along so well because he was always so busy with work. He apologized to me for making me have to put up with his idiot of a son and his idiot of a wife.
What? He called us idiots?
Hey, Loreto, do you even realize what you've been doing these past 3 months?
Huh? What are you talking about?
When we first met, you called your mother Mom, probably because deep down you knew that I would find the relationship between you and your mother strange. But ever since we got married and I moved in, you've been unconsciously calling her Mommy from time to time.
What? Seriously?
I'm not going to judge you on just how you call your mother, but in your case, you calling your mother Mommy is a sign of your extreme dependence on your mother, probably. If I'm being honest, I felt a little disgusted every time you called her that. Actually, I felt very disgusted.
Disgusted?
Yes. To be honest, you disgust me on a biological level, so I want to get divorced.
I disgust you on a biological level? Why? What do you find so disgusting about me and my mother getting along? Oh, I get it. You were probably one of those people that weren't loved by their mother growing up. And that's why you're jealous at our relationship, aren't you? Jesus, Linda, you're so petty.
And here I thought that you were starting to realize what you've been doing until now was wrong. Yep, you really are disgusting, Loreto. I don't know why I agreed to marry you in the first place. You disgust me so much that I never want to see you again.
But I was so happy. I was finally able to get married. You have to come back, Linda, or else who knows when I'll find someone else again. I cut ties with Mommy.
Huh? Okay.
That means you don't have to divorce me anymore, right? I'm going to move to your house right now, so tell me your address. This time for sure, we're going to act like a proper husband and wife. Let's just forget anything ever happened and start over.
But I already turned in the divorce papers.
What?
Yeah, they were mailed to my house, and so I turned them into the city hall the same day.
Those divorce papers? The one you left on our table and I signed on the day we got back from Guam because I was so mad at you and just did everything Mommy told me? Come on, Linda. That doesn't count, right? I wasn't thinking straight and my mom was pushing me on.
Of course it counts. It has your signature and everything. You see, I've already told everyone, my friends and family, that we were going to get divorced. Even your dad's mentor who introduced me to you in the first place knows about it already. Besides, even if I hadn't turned them in yet, there's nothing you could do that would change my mind about the divorce.
What do you mean there's nothing I can do to change your mind about the divorce? But I just cut ties with Mommy because of all of our problems. We don't have to worry about anything now. That's what you wanted, right? For my mom not to be around us?
Sorry, Loreto. Even if you did somehow magically turn into a new person, I'm just not willing to take the risk anymore. Besides, I don't quite understand in what way you think this solves everything. I think that my feelings towards you, that of being disgusted on a biological level, will never change. I'm going to block you now. Goodbye. I predicted that my ex-husband Loreto would somehow try to contact me after that, so as soon as I blocked him, I went to the cell phone store and had my phone number changed. Of course, I also changed my WhatsApp ID. Luckily, my parents were planning on moving anyways, so I didn't need to worry about him locating me physically. Apparently, the precautions I took paid off since, according to some mutual acquaintances, he's been frantic trying to get a hold of my new contact information. During all of this, Loreto's parents also got divorced. As soon as this happened, Loreto's mother suddenly barged into Loreto's house and forcefully moved in with him, even though Loreto had already cut ties with her. Loreto's mother, Simona, was always unhealthily dependent on her son. And after she suddenly got divorced with her husband, she began spiraling into mental instability. It seems that she's still interfering with her son's relationships, making it difficult for him to get married. Apparently, Loreto was seen yesterday entering a clinic for the mentally ill by one of his acquaintances.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hello, Caroline. Are you there? Please reply if you're reading this. I wanted to ask you something. You married my son 2 years ago and came to live with us, but you're still working. Why is that? When are you going to quit that silly job of yours? You're going to be 30 in a few months, you know, right? You also know that my husband runs a company and someone has to take over that company after your husband. I suggest you start getting busy bringing a new member to this family, a male heir who will take over the company one day. Have you even put any thought into having a child? Besides, I sure would like to see a grandson soon. Good morning, Mother. I think I mentioned this numerous times, but the person that will take over as the president of your husband's company will be determined on merit. That's how your husband wants it. He's not going to have a family member just take over because this person is a relative. Well, that's all very virtuous and all, but that's not the real world, Caroline. In reality, my husband's company has been run by 3 generations of this family. It's been handed down from father to son for generations, and our company has profited because of it. Merit alone will not suffice. There is a little thing called tradition, which you seem to be lacking, Caroline. It has already been decided that your husband James will eventually take over as the next company president, and after him, his son, my grandson. Yes, well, tradition is all very good and all, but times have changed, Mother. I'm not saying it's wrong. If the person taking over is competent, whether that be James or someone else, I'm all for it. Will you stop contradicting me? You always find a way to refute everything I say. My husband has informed me that you are a very competent and reliable employee, but your competence and this issue are completely different. You are in no position to determine company policy. You're just another employee. I suggest you keep your nose out of it. I think that applies to you more than it does to me, don't you think? Pardon me? The person that will be promoted to that position concerns all the employees, and that person's decisions affect us all. You've never in your life worked at your husband's company. It seems obvious that it's you that has no right to decide who becomes the next company president or any other position. How dare you? How could you say that? I'm this company president's wife, for God's sakes. I certainly do have the right. Yes, I'm quite aware of that, but that makes no difference whatsoever. Makes no difference? Have you lost your mind, Caroline? I'm in possession of all my faculties, thank you. Do you really think that just because you're the president's wife that you can make such an important decision? Well, I have the right to. Just doesn't seem logical to me is all. This is getting nowhere. All you have to do is just stop complaining and work on giving us a grandson so that someday he will be able to take over this company and continue this long-established custom. If you have time to spurt such nonsense, I suggest you use your time more wisely by having a child. Right now, I'm giving my work priority above all, and I've talked long and hard about this with Jim. Pardon me? I know you complain to Jim about this matter all the time, and he gets irritated because you're so bullheaded about it. But could you not take that frustration out on me? I have other things to worry about. Jim said that? I wasn't trying to be difficult or anything. Just so you know, Mother, Jim is sitting right next to me and seeing this entire conversation. What? Are you serious? Why didn't you say so before? You better be ready for a line text from him later on, and it won't be a very pleasant one, I can tell you that. You tricked me into this, didn't you? You had him sit down and witness this conversation. How could you? Even if I denied such an absurd allegation, you wouldn't believe me, so what can I say? This is getting really exasperating, Mother. I really have to go. Goodbye. Caroline, are you seeing this? Answer me! I want you to come home right away and do a little cleaning. The place is a total mess. You married into this family and you live in this house. You have an obligation to do some of the chores. Sorry, Mother, I'm still at work and I have to do some overtime tonight. Got a project to finish up. Sorry. Are you serious? My husband left his position as president to become the chairman. There is not much time left for you to get to work conceiving a child. And why are you still working? There's no need. I want you to resign and stay home and fulfill your role as a wife. Excuse me? You want me to be an obedient little housewife? Is that it? Are you all right, Mother? You know I'm not the type. Like I said, I give my work priority above all. Are you still going on about that? Anyways, Jim did the cleaning as soon as he got home earlier. He just sent me a line saying that he finished. Wait, you're having James clean the house? Don't tell me he's also cooking. Yes, sometimes, anyways. We're not even living together anymore. How could you even know the place is a mess? We both share household chores. When he's busy, I do the cleaning and cooking. That's what we agreed on. I don't need you telling us what to do. Don't tell me you want me to come to your house and clean too. Is that what you're getting at? Is that what a housewife has to do? This sounds like your typical mother-in-law pestering her son's wife kind of scenario, like in some daytime soap opera. We didn't opt to live near you guys just so you would pester us day and night. How could you say that? It's a mother's duty to look after her son and, in extension, his wife, to pass the experiences of being the wife of a company president. I'm sorry, Mother, but before you start with all the same old hot air again, I received permission from Jim to respond however I saw fit, just so you're aware. Jim gave you permission? And what's this about hot air? Also, I'm going to be pretty busy with this current project, so if you send me any messages that sound like the same old spiel, well, I'm simply not going to respond. Wait, what? So you're just going to ignore me, is that it? Yes, I already got Jim's permission to do it. Jim would never allow such a thing. I better have a talk with him about this nonsense. I really can't have you interfering with my work. We're in a crucial phase now, so I would appreciate your cooperation, Mother. You really know how to anger someone, Caroline. Yeah, well, whatever. How could you just ignore your mother-in-law for Christ's sake? Always giving your work priority and shunning your responsibilities at home. What kind of a wife are you, anyway? I will make you listen and obey me. Mark my words, Caroline. You'll regret talking to me that way. Mother, have you gone totally nuts? Why did you go into our house without permission? And why did you change the locks? How do you expect us to get in? Are you trying to lock us out of our own home? Do you realize what you're doing, Mother? And besides, where the hell did you get a spare key? I never gave you one, and neither did Jim. I simply took my son's key and had a spare made down at the mall. Hold on a second, Mother. You had a spare made without us knowing? Yes, when he visited us last month, I saw his key case on the kitchen table. And when Jim and my husband were watching that football game, I drove down to the mall and had a spare made. He never knew it was missing. You just went and made a spare key to our house? For what, may I ask? Yes, that's because you two would never give me one. Jim promised he would when you first moved in. If I don't have a spare, how am I supposed to go over there and check the place and see that you're doing your duty properly? Mother, do I really have to explain? Stop right there, Caroline. If you want to enter this house again, I suggest you admit that you were wrong and obey my every demand. I want you to pledge that you will never disobey me, the mother of your husband, the current company chairman. And you mustn't forget that I'm the current president's mother. I want your solemn oath that you will never, ever again defy or refuse to obey your mother-in-law. I want your word or you're not entering this house. Wait a second. Did you just say the current president's mother? I'm not sure I understand you. That's right. Why is it so surprising? Just leave company matters to the current president. That would be my son, and focus on conceiving a child. You're the president's wife. There's no reason for you to work. Do as I say, Caroline, or there will be consequences. If you're so dedicated to your job, well, you can continue, but that means you'll have to divorce my son, and that's final. Oh, okay. So that's what you want me to do, huh? You want me to just resign from this company? Am I understanding you correctly, Mother? That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Have you finally gotten that through your little head? There are plenty of other employees that can take your place. That's what a company is for. You work, and when your time comes, you retire to raise a family. It's the normal course of things. Simply just resign and focus on bringing us a grandson. That's your role. It's about time you learned that, Caroline. Oh, okay, Mother. That means we'll just have to see the demise of this company, I suppose. You're joking, right? The company won't go under just because one of its employees resigns. You hold yourself in too much regard, my dear. Mother, you never fail to astound me. I really thought you had the company's survival in mind and that you were serious in your concern regarding who would take over as president, but then you tell me that I have to resign, not for the good of the company, but to have a baby. What are you trying to say, Caroline? My concern for the company and the family are clear-cut and logical. There is nothing irrational or unjustifiable about what I'm saying. Oh, but it is completely irrational in my opinion. Okay, so if you think what I'm saying is so irrational, then explain that to me. Which part of it is it that you find so unreasonable? Like I said, you attach too much importance to yourself. It embarrasses me whenever you applaud yourself, extolling the virtues of your own work all the time. I mean, how arrogant do you have to be to say the company will go bankrupt if you quit? My God, the audacity! Mother, I hate to tell you this, but I'm the new president of the company. Say again? What did you just say? I said, I'm the new president of the company. I recently took over. I'm surprised you didn't know. Stop joking around, Caroline. I'm serious. This is no laughing matter. This concerns the future of our family. The next president has already been determined, ever since he was born, as a matter of fact. How could he give that position to you, please? Then why don't you ask your husband or contact Jim right now and ask him? They will both tell you the same thing. Or you could even call the office and every employee there will tell you the same thing. This is some kind of prank, right? And what about James? What's James going to do? If he's not president, is he just a regular employee? That can't be. Jim's set to resign by the end of next month. Again, I'm surprised you didn't know. Resign? You're saying he's going to quit the company? Yes, he says he has other objectives, so for now he'll work freelance and see how things go. Freelance? Meaning he's not even going to be employed by a company? Yes, for a while, I guess, after which he says he will eventually start his own company. Start his own company? But why can't he just take over this company? Why would he start his own? Don't tell me you don't even know about that. I thought for sure you would know that. I didn't realize there was such a lack of communication in your family. Jim said that when he went to visit last time, he brought it up several times. He did? I never... He told me that your husband and Jim discussed this possibly years ago. Jim wanted his advice. After all, your husband built his company from scratch. Who better to get advice from, right? Huh? Really? And this was all before Jim and I got married. Neither my husband nor Jim mentioned anything. Oh, and as a side note, as for being selected as president of the company, both Jim and his father were explicit in their decision that I keep my business matters separate from my personal ones, meaning even if I became president, it would not affect our personal lives. And this decision does not mean that because Jim was not selected as president that I stole it from him. Please don't get that idea. Why wasn't I told about this? This is important. My husband nor Jim gave any clue as to what was going on. Caroline, answer me right this second. Why is my husband divorcing me? What did I do that was so wrong? Ever since you arrived, this family has gone totally haywire. You ruined our family, Caroline. And why did Jim throw away the opportunity to become the president of his own family business? And now he's a freelancer? Why? And my husband, he didn't lift a finger to stop him. As a matter of fact, he encouraged him to quit and become a freelancer. What has gotten into everyone? You put a jinx on this family, Caroline. But the worst was yet to come. They appointed you as the next president of our company? How did you manage to dupe everyone? And now my husband wants a divorce? This is like some nightmare. Well, for one thing, you came barging into the offices of our company announcing to everyone of your status as the president's wife, screaming and demanding that your son be appointed president and that after him, our non-existent son, your grandson, be in line to take over after him. That didn't go over too well, especially with your husband. He was humiliated in front of all of his employees. Well, I only did that to protect our... If that security guard hadn't stopped you, you were going to come barging into my office and make a scene, weren't you? But your actions were futile, a complete waste of time. Did you really think that you would be able to change policy or any decision the company makes? You have zero authority to make such demands. But I'm the president's wife! It doesn't matter, Mother. I'm sure your husband told you many times about his frustration with the old traditions. That generation after generation you select a family member as president. It just didn't sit right with him. He wanted a more merit-based system. He believed a more equal and fair playing field would allow the company to grow beyond its wildest dreams, instead of clinging to old traditions. No, he never meant those things. He was always a family man, always followed tradition. Please, Caroline, talk to my husband and ask him to rescind this silly divorce. He doesn't need to do this. I'll change. Please convince him. I really can't do that, Mother. It's really not my concern. Why? Why can't you at least do this little favor for me? Please, Mother, work it out yourself. I have nothing whatsoever to do with your marriage. It's kind of late. I have to get some sleep. Goodbye. Please, Caroline, help me. Okay, I'll give you my blessing. How's that? I give you my blessing that you become the next president. Will you then help me in return? And about who will take over after you, well, I'll leave that up to you and James. You two can make that final decision. I won't interfere at all. What do you say, Caroline? Please, please convince my husband to think it over. Please. Caroline, are you still there? Please don't cut me off. Please, Caroline, I need your help. Actually, my father-in-law told her that he was considering me as the next president, but she just wouldn't listen. Her mind just seemed to shut down whenever he brought up the subject. She couldn't accept the fact. The only thing that was on her mind was that her son was destined to become the next president, and that the wife would have to stay at home and have babies. Eventually, I was appointed as the next president, but that fact never entered my mother-in-law's mind in the slightest. Her son was the only person in the world that would be appointed, and that was that. There was no convincing her. She was so programmed by her self-delusions, a form of self-hypnosis if you ask me. It was probably in that state of mind that made her barge into the office and cause the embarrassing scene in front of all those employees. My father-in-law was so infuriated by the incident that he began to question why he was even married to her, which eventually led him to file for divorce. After the divorce went through, she received a comfortable settlement and returned to her grandparents' home back east. But her spendthrift ways as the president's wife never really waned, and her savings quickly diminished. Her grandparents were worried that she would next target their meager savings and pension and quickly cut ties with her. I heard she was living all alone in some beat-up apartment downtown doing various part-time jobs to make ends meet.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Marie, how are you? I saw that you were out all week. Where were you? Did you take a trip or something? I bet you took a trip with your family. Am I right? Where did you go, if I may ask? Was it overseas, maybe? Did you bring back any souvenirs? Oh, I wonder what it could be. Come on, Marie, where was your trip to? You can tell me. Oh, hello, Sandra. You're getting a bit ahead of yourself as usual. I just went with the family to visit my husband's parents over in Sanford, that's all, so no souvenirs. Sorry. It was just your boring visit to Grandpa and Grandma's house. We just sat around at home and relaxed, not sightseeing or anything. Really not much to see around there except wheat fields. Oh, really? Oh, that's no fun. It's almost Thanksgiving weekend and you went to visit your grandparents, huh? Yeah, Thanksgiving weekend we plan to visit my folks over on the East Coast. It's a bit further, so we'll stay a little longer. It's a hassle because both of us want to stay longer. We have to share our time wisely. Oh, yeah. Hey, you said your husband lives over in Sanford, right? Isn't there a big amusement park over there? Yeah, but it's like an hour's drive over there, and I heard it gets pretty crowded on the weekends. I envy you so much. You get to go all over the place. I was thinking of taking the kids there, but my folks are pretty old. They would rather relax at home. We had neighbors over for a barbecue. That was about it. Oh, really? What a waste. I heard that place was really fun, like Disneyland. A real missed opportunity. You were all there. You really should have popped over and enjoyed yourselves. The kids would have had a blast. That's why you don't have any souvenirs, huh? What a bummer. I was expecting a little something. Oh well, you sure put a damper on that. Yeah, all right. Okay, no souvenir from me means nothing for you when I come back from my Hawaii vacation. Sorry. Now we're even, right? I was planning on buying a whole bunch of neat stuff. Oh well, you really missed out, Marie. You're taking a vacation? You're going to Hawaii? Yep, that's right. This is my first time, so I'm so excited. We're leaving tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Oh, I get it now. So this is what it's all about, huh? You just wanted to tell me? Of course I wanted to tell you. What do you mean by that anyway? Nothing. Wow, how nice. Oh, sorry, Sandra. I just remembered I have to get dinner ready for the kids. I really have to go. I'm so sorry to cut this short, but we'll talk again later, I promise. Talk to you again. Bye. Yeah, okay. Bye. Hey, Sandra, are you there? Please reply. This is important. It's about your son, Kenny. He's sitting on your back porch crying his eyes out. I can see him from my kitchen window. What's going on? Did he lock himself out or something? Isn't anybody home? He seems so upset. It's getting really cold outside, so you better get him inside. I heard it was going to snow tonight. Are you even home, Sandra? I may have to go over there, you know. He's gonna freeze out there. You better get him inside right away. Huh? Relax, would you? What are you all upset about, Marie? Hey, Sandra, finally, it's freezing outside. I heard it's gonna snow later. Let him inside, the poor kid. Oh, you're talking about Kenny, right? Yeah, well, I left him out there on purpose. Pardon me? On purpose? What are you saying? What was I supposed to do? He was screaming and going on like a little monster. He insisted that I take him to Hawaii with me. Can you believe the little brat? I was going to be late catching the flight to Hawaii, so I had no other choice but to leave him out there on the porch. I mean, what else was I supposed to do, for God's sake? Anyways, I left him with that big down jacket. He'll be fine. Wait, are you saying you're not even home? Yeah, that's right. I'm in the airport limo now, heading to the airport. Almost at the terminal, as a matter of fact. But I suppose I kind of expected he would act this way. And I knew you would be in the kitchen and probably be looking toward our house right about this time. That's right, I've been monitoring you, Marie. The whole thing went just the way I planned. You planned this? What are you even talking about? I knew you'd be looking out your window. You always prepare lunch about now, and you have a clear view from that window. I knew you would see him. I had him wear that big red down jacket just in case. Worked, huh? So take care of Kenny for me while I enjoy some sun, would you? Sure would appreciate it. I'm going to be in Hawaii for a week, and I don't want to be bothered. I need some quiet time for myself with no interruptions. So I'm going to shut off my phone the whole time I'm here, just so you know. Okay then, I'm off to paradise. Take care of little Kenny for me while I'm gone, okay? Bye. Aloha. Hey, Sandra. Don't know when you're going to see this since you said you were shutting off your phone. I've retrieved Kenny from the back porch and brought him over to our house. He was freezing, you know. That was no down jacket, just a red windbreaker. What were you thinking? He's fine now, but it could have been serious if I hadn't seen him. Reply when you see this, and I mean ASAP. No reply probably means your little vacation has started and you won't see this until next week. Probably sitting on the beach about now. But you're going to see this sooner or later. I can't just let you off the hook. It doesn't feel right to just let this go. So I'm going to leave a long message for you. What? the hell is wrong with you, Sandra? I believe your husband is currently assigned overseas, right? He comes back once or twice a year or something? I remember you griping about that after our PTA meeting. You wouldn't shut up about it. Who the hell did you go to Hawaii with anyway? Was this one of those solo trips? I know it's just you and your son, but I really can't understand why you would leave your son all alone to go off to Hawaii for a week. And you leave your kid out on the porch in the freezing cold with only a thin windbreaker? How could you do that? What if I wasn't home that day? He would have been out there all night. This could have ended badly, you know? Did you even think that far? How can you even call yourself a mother? Are you just disguised as a mother, but in reality you're some evil monster? I talked to my husband about it, and he may be able to contact your husband overseas. When your husband returns, I'll return Kenny to his dad, so when you get back, contact him and work the rest out yourselves. That's all I have to say. Enjoy the rest of your vacation, Sandra. Looks like you haven't even turned your phone on yet. I guess you're keeping your word about no interruptions. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to give you a daily update about your husband. We contacted him last night, and apparently he hopped on a plane right away. He's scheduled to be back later this afternoon. Just so you know, I'll be over there when he arrives, and you can be sure I will tell him every last detail about this situation. Honestly speaking, what you did was totally inexcusable. And after I do that, we leave for my parents' home and won't be back for a few days. So even if you contact me about Kenny, I won't be able to help you out. You're just going to have to contact your husband and talk it over with him. Just don't rely on me to help. Oh, and one more thing. It seems you're not only ignoring my messages, but your husband's as well. But you know what, Sandra? Maybe people already know why you went to Hawaii. And maybe who you went with. Or maybe even details about this guy. Address and phone number, maybe. You may be pretty surprised how much everyone knows. I bet some preparations are being made. But what do I know, right? Anyways, have fun and hope all this was worth it. Hello there, Marie. How was your week? I just arrived back from Hawaii. I had such a wonderful time. I brought so many souvenirs. The luggage weighs a ton. I'm glad I have rollers on this suitcase. Had the guy loaded onto the van and off again. Better give him a big tip when we arrive back at the house. Oh yeah, and how's little Kenny? Tell him I got him a super nice gift. He's going to love it. I really don't know how to thank you for taking care of my son this entire week. I hope he wasn't a burden on you. I'll stop by and pick him up after I return. But I have to tell you, Marie, it is so nice having such a considerate and useful person living right next door. I don't know what I would have done if you weren't here, Marie. Thanks so much for this. I hope I can count on you again in the future. I bet Kenny likes it over there. Maybe he doesn't even want to return. And I heard your cooking was pretty good too, always standing in the kitchen like a good housewife. Oh, I almost forgot. Remember when I said I would not get you a souvenir because of that last time? You remember that, right? Well, I'm keeping my word. No souvenir for you, Marie. Sorry, and eye for an eye, right? I wasn't expecting one, so don't worry about it. Oh, there you are, Marie. I was wondering when you were going to answer. You're acting a bit high and mighty. Do I sense a tinge of jealousy, perhaps? Just because you babysat my kid for a week, aren't you being a little lordy? Babysit? Your son's not over here. I'm not looking after him. Pardon me, are you saying he's not over there at your place? What I'm saying is that even if you come over now to pick him up, he's not here. Hold on a second. You saw him on the porch, then took him in, and you've been looking after him the whole week, right? I mean, come on, Marie. You found him sitting out there on the porch. And as you know, my husband is working overseas and only comes back once or twice a year. You're the one who found him, and you're supposed to be our neighbor, for God's sake. You have a responsibility to take care of him. I'm starting to see the picture. I figured as much. When you were in Hawaii, I sent a daily report of what was going on, but you had your phone shut off. And it seems you haven't even looked through your past messages. No, I never read past messages. What's that got to do with anything? I would just ask you to open up Line and check your messages for the past week, and you'll get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. If you take a good hard look at it, you'll see that it's probably not only me, but I'm guessing there are a bunch of messages from your husband and your parents. Yeah, well, it just seems like such a nuisance to have to answer back every time, so I just shut it off and enjoyed my time in Hawaii. You'd do the same. That's where you're wrong. I am way more responsible than you. You'd rather ignore all your messages and have a jolly old time than worry about your kid or your family. I hope all of it was worth it. What are you going on and on about? Was Kenny a pain in the butt or something? Don't take it out on me, Marie. Just look at your darn messages, would you? You'll know what I'm going on and on about. All right already, you don't have to get all irritated for Pete's sake. What the hell has gotten into you? What the hell is this, Marie? How the hell did this happen? How the hell did you get in touch with my husband? He's working overseas. Who told you his contact info? I certainly didn't. When you guys moved in next door, my husband was already assigned overseas. You only met him a handful of times. Did someone in the neighborhood tell you? I bet it was Miss Bennett down the street. She was always asking about my husband. Well, what you didn't know was that my husband had business dealings with your husband. They met on occasion. Business dealings? They worked together before? You never told me that. Yeah, there was some business project they worked on together about a year ago. He mentioned the company and where he was stationed, so it wasn't very hard to track him down. Are you serious? They know each other? Yep. I really thought you knew. Don't you guys talk much? Guess you figured nobody knew your husband, huh? That's why you felt safe about going to Hawaii all alone. Or was it? Anyway, your actions were despicable. You do realize that, don't you? Excuse me? How could you say that? Come on, Sandra, think about it. You put your own kid in danger. He could have frozen to death that day. What if I wasn't home and nobody found him? My God, I hate to even think about it. If someone had called the police, you could have been charged, you know? Did that thought ever cross your mind? Call the police? Are you serious? Why would anybody call the police? You make me sound like a criminal. You're lucky that there was no need for such a drastic measure. We took Kenny in. He was a bit shaken, but he was fine, and we were also able to contact your husband, so... But if the police were called, there could have been consequences. You could have been charged with a crime. To put a young child in danger like that? What were you thinking? You're kidding me, right? Oh yeah, and your husband? He said he was contemplating divorce. I would talk to him right away, Sandra. He was furious. That guy you went to Hawaii with? Yes, we all know all about this guy. Apparently, he's your boyfriend, wasn't he? The way I see it, I think you're going to have a pretty difficult time getting custody of Kenny. Sure looks like your husband holds all the winning cards. He wants a divorce and he wants custody? How was I supposed to know it would all get overblown like this? It was just a short little vacation for Pete's sake. What am I gonna do? Kind of late to be worrying about that, wouldn't you say? Hey, Marie, are you there? Please pick up. Where did my husband and Kenny go? You must know. You have to tell me. Come on. Are they at a neighbor's house? Down at Miss Bennett's place, maybe? Is that where they are? I just walked in the door and all our stuff is gone. The place is cleaned out. Where did they go? I went over to your place too and nobody's there either. Where is everyone, for God's sake? I asked Mrs. Simpson across the street and she wouldn't tell me anything. Just shrugged her shoulders. I bet she knows. Did you tell her to keep her mouth shut? I just found the divorce papers and photos showing us on the beach in Hawaii. Who took these photos anyway? Did my husband hire a private investigator? There's also a business card here for some divorce lawyer. Why? How did he find out? Why didn't you just look the other way, Marie? Not only that, my boyfriend contacted me. Apparently my husband called him and told him that I was married. He wasn't supposed to know. He just sent me a line. He wants nothing more to do with me. We had such a romantic time in Hawaii. He said he loved me, and then he drops me just like that? Was that all a lie? I can't believe this is happening to me. Where did it all go wrong? I don't want to split up with my husband. What am I going to do all alone from now on? I want my boyfriend back. After I got that line message, she evidently headed over to her parents' place, who live about an hour's drive away. I guess she's living with them now. After about a month, I heard that the divorce was finally settled. Just as I expected, her husband was granted full custody of Kenny, and she was obligated to pay a considerable amount as compensation. I also heard she had to pay the boyfriend a certain amount too. The poor guy thought she was single and was even thinking of marrying her down the line. I don't blame him for demanding compensation. With child support and compensation for both her husband and the boyfriend, I heard she was like $100,000 or more in debt. A neighbor who knows her pretty well told me that she's living with her folks and working every day to pay off that debt. At least she has somewhere to go. I bet her folks never expected to take care of their daughter again. She apparently regrets what she did and is trying to make up for it. I suppose it's a little too late for that. Anyway, she won't be going on any vacations to Hawaii anytime soon.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.